So I had this question come in via email just now, and I thought I'd do a kind of a question and answer thing on it, just because it's not the first time I've been asked it, and it's quite a valid question. And the question is, let me find where it is: is there any benefit to paying extra for mastered stems or mixed stems if I have no intention of remixing or anything like that? And it's a good question because that's instantly what you think the mixed stems would be for. Um, and primarily, yes, they are great for that. You have the all the printed stems. So let's say we have the kick bus, we have the drum bus. Each of those buses are printed as stems. So then, what you can do is what you would basically do is once we send you back the mixed stems, you could load them into your door, hit play, and the mix plays back. You could then adjust that mix however you wanted, do whatever you want. The mastered stems are slightly different. So the mastered stems are the stems that you would send for stem mastering. They would then be printed through the master chain at the exact same settings as the full mix. So they're used in slightly different ways. So the mixed stems you can use to, let's say, create alternate versions, right? But the problem is you then still need to master those alternate versions because they're the mixed stems, so they're not mastered. But the alternate versions are great for purposes like if you want the mix done, so the mix is finished, but then you may want to make a shorter version, a longer version. You want to take a section out of here. You want to change the arrangement. You want to do anything like that. You can do that all with the mixed stems. And you can do it really, really well. The other thing is sometimes you may get a request from a licensing company, a TV, film, anything like that. You may get a request for, let's say, can we have a version with this taken out? Or can we have a version with no guitar? Can we have a version with no drums? Things like that. So at that case, what you can do is if you've got the mixed stems, you can load the mixed stems up, have the mixed stems in a session, and then just go mute and then print the full mix, albeit it still needs mastering. But a simple master can be put over it if you so wish, or you can book a master with us and we'll put it back through the same mastering chain. So that's one benefit for it. The mastered stems are slightly different. So the mastered stems are slightly different in the sense that they are the mixed stems that are then run through the master. So when you send a song in for stem mastering, you'll send, let's say, the drum bus, the guitar bus, the bass bus, the lead guitar bus, the vocal bus. So you've got 5 stems there, just in a hypothetical. 5 stems there. Those 5 stems, when summed together, play back the stereo file or play back the stereo mix. But we have the ability to balance each individual stem in certain ways whilst mastering, so we can get better sound out of the master. For instance, the vocal may be, vocal's too loud or vocal's too quiet. We can adjust the volume of that. Vocal needs de-essing, so we can put a de-esser on that and de-ess that. We can do all of that in the mastering stage. So the master stems, the way they differ is that those 5 stems would then be running through the master chain, creating a stereo master. But then we'll get each of those and put those individually, one after the other, and they will individually drum mix, run through that exact same master chain. Guitar mix, run through that master chain. Bass mix goes through that master chain, all through the exact same master chain. What you then receive is the full mix and each of these stems with that master chain on. What that means is, again, for things like TV, film, where they want like a little underscore or something like or a bed or anything like that, they may just want to use just the drums, just the guitar, just the bass. All these are just kind of, it covers you if you ever need to use anything like this. If you get the request for it, you're covered that it's all there. The mixed stems, like I said before, are great because what you don't want to do is you don't want to, a year down the line, get a licensing deal or something, get some sort of sync deal or anything, and go, I need the stems, or I need a version of it that doesn't have this in. You have the stems there and then, so you can do whatever you want with it. The other reason mastered stems and more mixed stems are beneficial for you is, let's say, for instance, you are doing a live performance. Okay, so you've got a live performance and you've got no drummer, or you don't want to use a drummer, you don't want to bring a kit in, and it's just the drummer. There's no bass player. Let's go for the hypothetical that there's no bass player. He's late. So we've just got vocalist, lead guitarist, and like a rhythm guitarist. You got the two guitarists and the vocalist. So what you can do then is you can have a mix of just drums, just bass. Then the three of you can play over the top of that. So you can create your own mix. You can do that using the mastered stems, or you can do that using the mixed stems. So then you can create your own file that then plays back, and you play back over the top of it live. Or, for instance, let's say you want to create a version that is just the instrumental. You can create that instrumental version for the vocalist just to sing over. Maybe if you supplied us with lead vocals and BVs, you maybe just want to take the lead vocal out. So you can take the lead vocal out. It gives you that flexibility of creating anything from the actual finished product. So there's no deviation away from how it sounds. If you're using a mastered stems, for instance, the mastered stems, albeit without the kind of the limiting and the compression is different, but the EQ and everything like that is all the same, and it will sound the same once summed together with EQ. But the compression obviously reacts differently with a summed mix of sound rather than individual stems. So yeah, you can also for band practice, things like that, you may not want to get the drummer in. The drummer might not want to come in every time and set up drums into the rehearsal space. So you can just have the drum track, just play the drum track, just use the drum track, and everybody play over the drum track for practice purposes. So there's multiple reasons why the stems are good. The other thing to mention is if you've selected to have Dolby Atmos mastering or Dolby Atmos mixing, then what we will print is the ADM, Dolby Atmos ADM, which is basically a render that has all the object information in it, all of the stems, everything is all built into this one file. You can then, with that file, load that file into, let's say, Logic or Pro Tools, load that ADM in, and you can physically see each stem. You'll see the panning information as well. You'll see the full stem, and you can just solo or just export the stems that you want. The only downside with this is that each stem, it's based on whether we have used objects for each stem, which 9 times out of 10, that will be the case. But you might have something like, let's say, for instance, you've got a guitar, for instance. Say you've got a guitar and there's two guitars and the two layer over the top of each other, and we want to have them positioned in exactly the same place as one sound layering over the top of each other. We may use one object for that and process over that one sound so that those two sounds become one. In that case, the problem with the ADM is that you wouldn't have each individual stem there. You would only have that one stem with the two files on there. Whereas the mixed stems technically would be mixed the same way because you would still process them together. So you would still have them in the mixed stems as a bus. But But the ADM, you can still extract all the mix stems. You would be able to get all the mix stems out of the ADM file. So yeah, the ADM is kind of like a mix stems, but you've got to do the printing of the mix stems. But it gives you the flexibility of where you could technically, let's say, for instance, you wanted just the drums, just the bass, just the guitar, and then you had the lead guitarist playing live and the vocalist playing live, so you didn't want to include those into the kind of backing track. You could solo those free and just print those free files, and leave the lead guitarist and the vocalist out. So you can do that from the ADM, or you can do it by importing the mix stems. So hope this answers your question. I'll forward this video on to you, and because you know, a video, an email, I sent the email as well. The email goes so far. I can explain things in detail, but a video like this does give you a lot more insight into exactly what I mean and what I'm saying.